Let's be brutally honest. Every woman at some point in her life has looked back at a man she once ignored, dismissed, or quietly walked away from and felt a sudden, undeniable H in her chest. It's not a dramatic movie moment. It's Keter. It's 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. It's the moment she realizes he's not chasing anymore. He's not waiting. He's not the same man she could play emotional games with. And that's when the regret begins. Not because she lost just any man, but because she lost the one man who truly saw her, the one man whose validation she thought she'd always have on tap, the blindness of comfort. Men, you rarely understand how this shift happens. You torture yourselves replaying the breakup. You think she moved on because she wanted something better. You assume she outgrew you, got bored, or found someone new. But here is the truth. The one most women will never say out loud. She didn't stop caring because she stopped feeling. She stopped caring because she thought you always would. C. Women get comfortable with consistency. It's a paradox of security. When a man shows up every time she needs him, when he texts first, forgives fast, and never lets her feel the true weight of her mistakes, she begins to believe your love is permanent. And permanence kills urgency. The female mind starts to rewrite the story. It's not a conscious cruelty, it's a subconscious psychological drift. The narrative becomes, he'll always be there. He'll never give up. He loves me too much to leave. That's when she starts taking you for granted. Not out of malice, but out of a deep-seated, flawed psychology. Because comfort in love often breeds blindness. And that blindness makes her forget what it took to earn your presence in the first place. She mistakes your choice to stay for an inability to leave. She saw your loyalty as a given, not a gift. She saw your devotion as a resource, not a relationship. She believed your masculine patience was a limitless well she could draw from forever, without ever replenishing. She was wrong. The turning point and the power of silence. But here's where the regret is truly born. It's not born when she leaves. It's born the moment you finally walk away. And here is the critical distinction. You don't walk away out of anger. You don't slam the door. You don't send a long, bitter text message. You walk away out of acceptance. It's the quietest goodbye. It's the click of a door softly closing. It's the moment you accept that you cannot make someone value you by giving them more of what they already don't appreciate. It's the moment your self-respect finally becomes louder than your feelings for her. Something inside her, something dormant and arrogant, wakes up. That comfortable blindness shatters. The story she wrote in her head, he'll always be there, has just been proven false. And the shock of that reality is the seed of her regret. She expected you to fight. She expected you to beg. She expected you to break. When you simply accept and turn your focus inward, you do something she never anticipated. You take back your power and you begin the process of your evolution. In the beginning, she doesn't feel it. She feels empowered. She feels that false confidence women get when they believe they've made a bold choice. She tells her friends you were too available, too emotional, too invested. She says she needed space, or excitement, or something different. But silence is a strange and powerful teacher. Your silence, the complete and total absence of your energy from her life. It's not about missing your good morning texts. It's about missing your energy, the masculine calm she used to feel when you were near, the quiet, unspoken security of being truly seen by a man who wasn't trying to impress her, but simply to understand her. Women remember in silence, long after you've stopped posting, stopped reaching out, stopped reacting. She notices When she opens her phone and doesn't see your name, when she checks your story and realizes you've moved on without a trace of pain, when she has a bad day and instinctively reaches for the phone to call you, only to realize that line is closed. That's when her regret starts bleeding through her pride, because in that silence, she finally hears the truth she ignored for so long. You never needed her validation. You simply wanted her respect. And now that you've stopped giving your attention away for free, your absence becomes infinitely more powerful than your presence ever was. Your silence is a mirror, and in it, she finally sees her own mistake. She sees the ghost of the man who gave her everything. And she sees the woman who was too blind to accept it. The anatomy of regret. Men, listen very carefully. Women don't regret losing men who begged for them. They don't regret losing the men who screamed, who pleaded, who lost their composure. They regret losing men who loved them deeply, but refused to be disrespected. That regret doesn't show up in words. Not at first. It grows quietly, like a shadow behind her smile. She tells herself she's fine, that losing you was the right decision, that she's healing or focusing on herself, but deep down, something feels fundamentally off. Because here's the truth, she doesn't miss you right away. She misses the version of herself that existed when you were around. The woman who felt safe to be soft. The woman who could let her guard down, expose her flaws, and still feel completely desired. You gave her a safe space to be vulnerable, and in walking away from you, she walked away from her own sanctuary. That realization creeps up on her slowly, and it is devastating. That excitement she chased, it fades. That space she needed, it starts to feel like a cold, cavernous emptiness. And that's when she starts comparing, not intentionally, at first, but instinctively. Every new man she meets gets measured against the memory of you. He's charming, but he doesn't listen the way you listened, without interrupting, without trying to fix her, just holding space. He's successful, but he doesn't look at her the way you did, without judgment. He's physically attractive, but he doesn't provide the peace you did. No matter how much she tries to convince herself you were replaceable, she can't escape the emotional fingerprint you left behind. Because real masculinity, that calm, confident, grounded energy doesn't fade from memory. It echoes. She sees your reflection in moments she least expects. When another man raises his voice, she remembers how you stayed patient. When someone lies to her, she remembers your brutal, beautiful honesty. When she's in a crowded room with friends, laughing, but still feels profoundly lonely, she remembers how you used to make silence feel like a deep connection. That's when her regret deepens. It's not just about missing you anymore. It's about the terrifying realization that she underestimated you, the evolution she can't ignore. This is the part she never saw coming. She thought you'd always be easy to reach. She assumed your heart was hers on demand. But when you pulled back, you didn't just sit in the dark. You started to evolve. When you stopped pouring all your energy into her, you poured it back into yourself. You started focusing on your life, your mission, your goals. You hit the gym, not for revenge, but for release. You focused on your work, not to impress her, but to build your own empire. You cultivated your peace, and she watches this from afar. She sees your photo online. A mutual friend mentions your name, or she stumbles across your profile one night, driven by that gnawing curiosity. And what she sees stops her heart cold. You're not sad anymore. You're not reaching out. You're not the man who used to second guess his worth or explain himself just to keep her close. You're different. Your energy feels stronger. Your confidence, sharper. your silence more powerful. You are not the man she left. You are the man she thought you never could be. And in that moment, her pride meets her punishment. She realizes the terrible irony. The man she's craving now is the man she created by breaking him. The heartbreak forced you to evolve. It forced you to build your boundaries, your purpose, your unshakable peace. You stopped being the man who needed her and became the man she now realizes she needs. That's the evolution she can't handle. That you no longer need her to feel whole. When you were together, she had the upper hand. She controlled the emotional thermostat. Your happiness was often tied to her mood. Now she has zero control. And that loss of control stings more than the breakup itself. She used to react to her silence. Now you respond with indifference. You used to defend yourself when she disrespected you. Now you don't even acknowledge it. You used to need her for closure. Now you create your own peace. This is when she feels something she hasn't felt in a long time. Jealousy. Not jealousy of another woman, but jealousy of your independence. Jealousy of your peace. Jealousy of the new life you've built. The one that has no space for her. You became the man she wished she had the patience to keep. That's the paradox of female psychology most men don't see. Women crave security, but they chase mystery. They want emotional safety, but they respect emotional control. When you mastered both by walking away without bitterness and evolving without her, you became the one she can never, ever fully forget. Her regret turns into a quiet obsession, the kind where she stalks your posts but never likes them. The kind where she watches your stories just to see if you're happy. The kind where she texts, "I miss us." Not because she wants to rebuild, but because she wants to know she still matters. This is where your strength as a man truly gets tested. Because when a woman regrets losing you, she will do subtle things to pull you back in. Not out of love, but out of fear. Fear that you've evolved beyond her reach. She'll send a random text, "Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you." A subtle comment, "You've changed." A late night confession, "I miss how things used to be." But understand this, she doesn't miss the relationship. She misses the version of herself that felt significant when you loved her. This is where most men fail. They take her regret as an invitation to return. Don't, because the man she regrets losing isn't the one who comes running back. It's the one who keeps walking forward. The one who knows that her recognition came too late. Your response to this test is the final confirmation of your evolution. A simple, polite, "Hope you're doing well," or even more powerfully, no response at all. This isn't a game. This is you protecting the peace you fought so hard to build. That's when the balance shifts completely. She becomes the one who can't stop thinking about you. She becomes the one who replays moments, wondering why she let you slip through her fingers. She becomes the one haunted by the simple truth she thought you'd always wait, and you didn't. The final lesson from regret to admiration, and that's the kind of regret that doesn't fade. Because it's tied to her identity, she has to live with the fact that she had something rare and she was careless with it. She'll tell herself, "You changed," and she's right, but not in the way she thinks. You changed from the man who needed love to the man who chooses peace. That's when she realizes the full scope of her loss. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost a man who genuinely cared about her soul. She didn't walk away from drama. She walked away from loyalty. She didn't end a story. She ended a chapter she will never, ever get back. Time is a strange teacher. It doesn't always heal. Sometimes it reveals. Months pass, maybe years. Her life keeps moving, but the same pattern repeats. No one gives her that same peace. No one makes her feel that same safety. No one holds her with that quiet certainty that you once did. And slowly, her regret turns into something deeper, something she'll never admit out loud: admiration. Because as she watches you continue to evolve from a distance, she understands something painful and beautiful at the same time. You didn't become better to impress her. You became better because losing her forced you to meet yourself. That's when she sees the truth she ignored. That your love wasn't weakness, it was leadership. That your patience wasn't passivity, it was power. That your loyalty wasn't naivety, it was depth. You see, when a man finally chooses himself after being taken for granted, he doesn't just heal, he ascends. He becomes the kind of man that other women respect, other men look up to, and life starts rewarding. And that is what haunts her now. Because she used to have a front row seat to your becoming, and she walked away before the final act. Back then, she saw potential. Now, she sees proof. And that proof burns more than any goodbye ever could. It's poetic justice. You didn't get revenge. You didn't have to prove anything. You just healed, leveled up, and let your growth speak louder than your pain. That is real power. Not chasing her until she sees your worth, but walking away until she has to face it. Now, she looks for pieces of you in every new connection. Your calm, your depth, your stability. But no one matches the energy of the man who loved her purely and left her peacefully. So, to every man listening, don't ever regret being good to the wrong woman. Your character, your calm, your strength, your self-control becomes the ghost that follows her through every failed relationship after you. She may never say it, but one day she'll realize what she lost. And that realization will echo in every empty conversation, every shallow relationship, every lonely night where she wonders why no one makes her feel like you did. That's the power of self-respect. That's the quiet victory of your evolution. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever had a woman come back months or years later, finally understanding what she lost? Comment your story below. You never know whose heart your experience might heal tonight.